Life is a series of disappointments.
That's the spirit.
If nothing else, I have to finish the next 2 rows before I can put this down because I cannot leave my knitting as precarious as it is right now. I have 3 hooks involved.
No.
I gotta fix this.
3 hooks or 3 needles?
Or 2 needles and a hook.
Okay.
But I had a cabling hook and I was in the middle of a row and I gotta finish the next row too so that I can like knock off this needle and then I can stop.
Hmm.
What? So it's still hearing me talk about? It's still hearing me talk about knitting.
I have jokes on you. I have been downloading the sessions and I always enjoy our pre-session small talk. It is fun. Yeah.
Alright, can you give me enough time to finish this one row because I only have one stopper?
No.
Thank you.
Jenny, have you downloaded the last couple sessions?
Yes.
Good. Because I went back to try to do notes and did not get very far. And so I was like, it's probably going to go off Twitch soon. And yeah, and earlier this week it was at 13 days. So it was because the 2 that were in a row. I haven't caught up fully.
Yeah. Okay. So for January, I have the 3rd, 6th, 13th, 14th, and 21st.
We've
So I
played
think those
so much this month.
we have. We have.
It
It
has
has.
been.
So
Oh. As soon as I finish this row, I'll show off what I've been working on. Because you're all my captive audience, and I have spent a fucking stupid amount of time on this blanket.
We'll go ahead and go to the main scene so that the all of our viewers can see what it is as well.
Our folks at home can ooh and ah over my knitting appropriately.
Exactly.
yes.
Let's see. Yeah, I've spent like 300 hours on this already, probably.
That's a lot of hours.
Yeah, I'm not kidding. I've been working on this for 2 years now, and I'm finally reaching like the end.
Um, Hello, silly waffles.
Oh my god! Hi. What are you doing here?
Please don't
They
leave.
said they were comfy. Ron, when people love you, you just have to accept it.
I suppose I do. I suppose I do. Also, congratulations, Silly Waffles, on having a very productive day today.
Nice Twitch. I'm on someone's Twitch notifications. I'm famous.
You've arrived then. Okay, okay. 3 more stitches, and it will be available to... Fuck yeah! Okay, see, I had to free this needle so I could put shit up.
Free the
Okay.
needle.
Yeah. So, this is a blanket I am working on. It is a queen-sized blanket. The part I am currently working on is this.
Ooh.
I'm working on the cabling for the outside of the blanket, and that goes all the way around this giant 7.5-foot tall behemoth. Like, if I try to hold it end to end, that end to end. There's so much give here. It's so long.
Very nice.
This thing is huge.
I love
This is the blanket I've been working on since the pandemic started. I've made other things in the interim, but like, yeah.
Maybe someday I'll even be famous enough to have unique emotes for the Twitch channel, but you know, baby steps.
Ben told me that I should publish my fanfic on AO3 so that people would become fans and then start watching and then we would become famous.
See,
Hey, you should.
No.
I think it would be absolutely hilarious if this stream gained a following because of fanfic. That would be great.
If I was gonna commit to doing that, I would have to like do a little summary intro of everyone because it picks up with.
It does start very much. It starts immediately after the execution.
No one needs to know about that. That's not relevant plot info for any character's motivations or anything. There's not a fight about it in chapter 3. It's fine.
Wait. Actually, Discord is blaming Jenny.
Why is that?
I'm getting some static, and Discord says that you're talking.
Yeah, it's lighting up your screen whenever
Yeah.
the static noise happens.
That is very strange. Let me try something.
Also, do you like my fucking carpal tunnel wrist brace? Because I work from home and then I spend my off hours knitting like an old lady.
Is this better?
I don't hear it right now, but it wasn't nonstop before, so.
Yeah, it was intermittent in the beginning, so.
I've been informed that also Freya the cat is watching.
Kisses are necessary, give her kisses. Freya and I have a love-hate relationship. She loves me for about 2 days, and then I've outstayed my welcome, and she wants me to leave.
Alrighty then. Okay, I have one question before we get into things, and it is, Ash, you can reiterate your answer, but just what is something I'll expect to happen after the downtime period? Or not expect to happen, but what's something you are looking forward to happen?
Letter from mom. Like that's my big one right now. Letter from mom. Now, re-clarify. You said looking forward to, not expect to.
Either or, whichever you. If there's something you expect to happen and you can't think of something you're looking forward to, then go with that. I would prefer looking forward to, though.
Letter from mom is my big one.
Looking forward to Kenda and Ren interacting again.
That's a big one.
That's probably gonna happen like before, like it's not gonna take like a couple of weeks for that to happen, but yeah. That'll be fun. I'm looking forward to getting Orin some fresh air.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking forward to Ren getting to use his new Shadow Hound ability and Fireball.
You were so desperate to use Fireball.
Of course I am. It's Fireball.
Welcome to D&D.
My sorcerer got to level 5. Do you know what happens? Let's see. I want to talk to Ander again. I'm looking forward to some Ander because I want to punch him.
Okay, I'm looking at your character sheet and I don't see this Shadow Hound ability. What is it? Is it a spell? What is it?
See, I have Find Steve, so your Shadowhound and my Steed should become friends.
Okay, but
Oh,
the
is it
question
not on here
is
yet?
it
Is
the
it
same
level
steed,
6?
or is it just whatever steed is in the area? I don't know.
Find Steed as a spell is actually always the same steed. Like the brain is always the same steed. Technically, it can come in different forms, but it is also a magical being, and it did not exist before the spell is cast.
Hound of Elohim is level 6. My bad.
As
But
Silly
I'm excited
Waffles
to get to
also
level 6.
says.
But yeah.
Silly Waffles just knows her shit.
Okay. Well. Yeah. Then, well, Ash, you should reiterate so they. Oh, you already did. Never mind. You did reiterate.
I didn't say. I don't remember everything I said.
Well, you said you're excited for Ren and Kenda interaction.
Yeah, and I also want. This is probably gonna happen during downtime as well, but so in my fic, Henry just goes by himself, which he's not going to do that in gameplay, obviously. Goes by himself to tell the hearts, hey, I want to be in on like the planning of the coup, not just like doing your bidding. So Henry's going to talk to Call and Ren about doing that, and then wants us all to go together if everyone agrees. But yeah, we can get started. Sorry.
I think that's a good idea. The talking to the hearts.
Okay.
Alrighty. So, last we left off, let's see, we ended immediately after Call's meeting with Zerka, where they gave their little debrief. Yeah. Ren is at an inn at the moment, and Call was going to join him. Henry is at home, I would assume sleeping, because it was getting late by that time. No, not very late. Not very late actually. It's probably roughly 9. Like it's not very late.
Well, we can do the Ren call stuff, and I'll think about if Henry's going to do it.
Okay. So let us get to that. First of all, Call, can you just give me a perception check for on your way to the inn that Ren is staying at?
12.
12?
Mm-hmm.
I don't have all my dice out. What a fool. When you assign dice to specific NPCs. Okay. So, you don't notice anything out of the ordinary on your way to the inn. When you get there, I assume Ren is in like the common area, getting the drink that he so desperately needed from last session.
Yeah.
I just have a complete mess all over my desk, and I have to organize it slightly. So, Call arrives, like I said, pushing 9 p.m. You find Ren there at the table. Go ahead.
Okay. Call is still in a very good mood because Call is still taking their conversation with Zerka as a victory that they didn't like totally fuck up. And also Jester doesn't hate them. So Call's like riding a high right now. So Call's probably gonna come in with a little more spring in their step than they've had as of late. Um, so they're probably gonna come like damn near bounding up to Ren. And try to just stay high, flag their attention, flag his attention.
Ren is happy to see them. He got a spot next to the fireplace because of course he did. And so yeah, okay. If they're gonna be like talking about like their business and stuff, he's just gonna stay very vague. So, this is a public spot, but so he'll just ask, how did it go?
It went very well, very well. I got as close as could be considered a a compliment or a good job in that situation, which is not saying much, but it's also saying quite a lot. So I'm taking it as a victory, and yeah, and also, brother doesn't hate me. My brother doesn't hate me. My brother does not hate me. My brother totally understood, and that is a huge weight off of my shoulders. And I actually, I've been so stressed for so long, I feel kind of giddy right now. I feel a little giddy right now, but I feel very, very good. How are you? And, they're gonna, reach out and just kind of, lightly, tap Ren on the hand and just be like, how are you doing right now? Just.
I'm happy to see you doing so well. Better now.
Wonderful. Okay. Okay, Okay, I don't know where I was going with that. Never mind. That's a problem here. So, Call is probably, if Ren does not seem inclined to go further on that statement, Call is probably going to start giving a little, you know, rehashing of how their conversation with Juster went. Not any particular details of anything, just the whole general what it felt like to catch up with their brother, and how Call didn't really have to do any explaining to get Jester to be sympathetic or understanding of Call's situation or anything like that, and how relieved it made them feel and everything like that. Which is stuff that they can talk about, in public without worrying about sensitive information. So Call is going to be giving a spill in the tea kind of thing.
Ren is happy to be listening. He's also probably going to just offer to get Call a drink, so because he's the one who suggested this. So, yeah, so he's just happy to listen and like asking encouraging questions and stuff, and just like just Call was having such a shit time for so long that he's just really happy to see them feeling so much better and like with this kind of energy and enthusiasm. So he's just happy right now. So, but yeah, he didn't think
Yeah.
that them meeting up was going to be like drinking away their sorrows or anything like that, or getting rowdy or anything. It's just like kind of a calm, like, we're decompressing after the day we had, that sort of thing.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Call is going to decide, you know what, fuck it, and take Ren up on the drink offer. So Call will have a drink. Um, they will indeed do that. And after a while, are likely to shift the conversational topic to more Ren stuff, you know, like um, and trying to keep things light. So jumping between, how Ren's doing just like right now, and more like observational commentary or commentary about things that don't involve them specifically. you know, just general things about like, yeah, did you hear the news about what's going on in town kind of crap?
All right.
Keep the conversation light.
Well, after a little while of talking, um, you do notice the both of you. Well, no, that's the not a quiet person. You do notice List enters the bar. Um, they are wearing their leather jerkin thing that's, to be honest, from what you've seen of it, could be enchanted in some way. Um, but they're wearing it very tightly bound across their chest, and does about as much work as can be done to conceal their chest. Um, they're wearing their very long, like, they basically have like Merida style hair, the long red curls. They're wearing it like as tied back into a bun as they can, because once again, lots of very big hair. It's very, very difficult to get it hidden away, but it is all tied back and tucked out of the way as much as possible. Um, and they are wearing trousers in place of a dress. Um, they do come in with, I believe, just a small hand harp, which, for those who saw them perform before, uh, they did not have an instrument. Um, but they do come in and try very hard to lock eyes with Ren.
Looks up.
Uh, they give you a little wink as they kind of, there's not a stage, but they head to the front of the tavern. Um, and also just have the possibly the most mischievous looking face anyone has ever seen. Um, and the tavern isn't super busy. There's maybe like 4 or 5 other people, not counting the two of you. I do need a perception check from both of you.
14.
14.
Okay, so you both kind of hear between lists songs some kind of scratching sounds, and when you look for the sound, you notice a small goblin female hanging out in the rafters, who seems to be very bored because the tavern is not very busy and no one is very drunk. Nobody's acting rambunctious. Nobody's even approaching List, which is kind of surprising. But everybody's kind of keeping to themselves, and it seems like this particular goblin is very bored up in the rafters and has kind of started scratching at some of the wood up there just because they are bored. But yeah.
I'm
By the
wondering if
call, you definitely picked up on the look that List gave to Ren.
Call's probably just gonna swing over and look at Ren and just be like, I missed something. I didn't realize you were so well acquainted.
or not.
Well, you're more acquainted than I last knew you to be.
We spoke last night. I stayed at another inn, and I'm staying at this one, and I didn't know that they would be here.
Oh. You're staying at inns?
Just for tonight again. Not really wanting to go back to the tower just yet, but I'll have to do that tomorrow.
Is there anything I can do? Any way I can help?
It's fine. This is just how I'm dealing with it. But yeah. Yesterday was interesting. So you know what happened towards the middle of the day. And he doesn't want to like even say too much because like he feels like this is List's business, kind of. So, but yeah. And List and I spoke last night, and twice in one day. I didn't realize I was so popular.
List, by the way, between songs, during songs, continually throws mischievous looks at Ren, and every once in a while at Call as well. But there's a little bit more like inquiry in the looks at Call.
Call's going to stick their tongue out at List.
They're full on going to return that.
Okay. Call's like, okay, twice in one day?
Is it? I don't know List very well. Is it? Do they regularly approach people? And he's like, approach isn't like that kind of.
Oh, that's what you mean. Oh. I can see it. Yeah. List does that sometimes. List is a very confident individual.
Bronwyn, it's entirely up to you about how Call would have responded to it, but List has absolutely asked.
Oh, I know. I know. That this is just how Call's responding. But yeah, Call's just gonna be like, yeah, List is a very confident individual. Like, yeah, that sounds in character. But oh, that's what you meant by twice. Wow. Are you how did you feel after that? Was everything okay? Like that seems like a lot very soon. I mean, I know List is not, like that, but List is also very straightforward.
Genuinely okay.
Okay. Okay.
I'm okay.
Okay. Um Either way, it seems like the conversation went well. If I'm gauging this right.
Very nice. Um, so List is very nice. Um, much nicer than the other encounter. But yeah, yesterday was full of surprises. I don't think I was expecting any of that.
I mean, I don't blame them.
Mm-hmm.
It makes sense.
What was that?
But oh, um Cole just said, I mean, I don't blame them, but like I'm glad you're doing okay.
Rebooting here. Yes. Uh, thank you. I'm really okay though.
Okay.
But yeah, at this point he's like determinedly like avoiding eye contact with List. So you stop that.
Literally, why is it all the main non-binary characters?
All
Listen
the
here.
non-binary characters throwing themselves at Ren.
Just
Listen
wait
here.
until y'all go back to the Thieves Guild and see what
Right.
Drake does.
Oh,
Listen,
no,
Drake
it
had
has
to be
to
next.
Drake has to proposition Ren. That's why Drake let Ren keep the ring.
Oh, it was that kind of ring. Okay.
Oh man.
Y'all realize Ren is the least attractive one in the group.
As a Henry would say, everybody is a different person's type. Somebody that
Right.
and somebody who would be interested in Ren might not be interested in Henry because they look very different, and vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah. So Call is going to sense that they have made an error since Ren has suddenly started avoiding eye contact, and is going to say, okay, well, besides the obvious, did you guys like have an enjoyable conversation? I have to admit, I'm not used to hearing about List from third parties.
There wasn't much else of a conversation, to be honest. But they were very nice.
Okay.
Just not when I intended when I stated an in.
Yeah.
So yeah, just wanted to know if that was normal for them.
It's in character.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes it better or worse.
I don't know about I don't know what's in character for the other person that I met yesterday. Well, sure. Listen here. Yeah, Ren's kind of like looking for ways to change the topic, but
Call is going to presumably pick up on that because I don't think Ren's being particularly subtle right now.
Yeah, I don't think Ren could be like, what can we transition to in here? Like, ask Call, like, hey, anybody proposition you lately? Because he's not just gonna go and say that. So,
in which case, Call is going to go, have I ever told you about this time when, Fink's tied List's hair to a post?
please tell me more about that.
Call's just gonna go off on this tangent. Just totally transition, segue the conversation.
Yeah.
It's a very funny story. Finks gets his poor comeuppance. Like, I don't think I used that right. Anyway, Finks gets what's coming to him. That's what I meant to say. But so Call starts transitioning into telling Ren just miscellaneous stories about the dozen.
The dozen.
Yeah, just stories.
Yeah, I think Ren will reciprocate with that. Just like pretty benign stuff. But yeah, like, wow, we're talking and opening up a little bit. Cause like, honestly, our characters have been like kind of at a dead sprint for a long time. I mean, I think we had some like, time to hang out while we were like in Steelwood, but like, um, just to have like conversations like this and stuff, it's nice for them to actually like get a minute. So, and Ren had his time to hang out with Henry and everything too, and now it's like, yeah, we're catching up with Call. So it's just nice. It's just nice.
Wonderful.
All right.
There we go.
So, Bronwyn, about how long does Call stay at this tavern? When do they head back to the barracks?
Let's see. If it's around 9ish when they get there, Call's probably gonna leave around 11 because they have to get up early anyway for daily routine stuff. So they're gonna stay for about 2 hours.
And did you hold yourself to the one drink again, or?
I think maybe 2 drinks, but no more than that.
All right, give me. No. Two drinks is not enough to warrant a spiraling into drunkenness. So I'm not gonna even make you roll for it.
Okay.
So eventually, Call does go home. Does Henry do anything special, or just hang out with Oren for a little while, and then go to bed?
He's over Oren. Yeah, he's over Oren and Patch.
So one thing that does happen, Patch is back at this point, but at one point Oren kind of leans over and whispers to you, I really need a sample of the death, and I think I can make a lot more progress towards an antidote if I have that. So if there's any way you or Ren or Call could get a hold of that for me, I think I could make progress a lot faster.
Insight check, please.
Absolutely. Go ahead.
So 6.
6. He seems earnest.
I think I say, yeah, can I just ask, when we rescued you, you wanted all of it destroyed. What changed?
Well, I don't want the stabilized version that I had. I just want a baseline strain of it. Because
Okay.
I won't even know if what I'm making will work unless I have something to test it on.
Okay. Would the stabilized version work, or do you want just the regular base version?
I need to look at my own notes for a second. It would be in. I have too many documents. Too many documents.
Can y'all hear me typing?
No. I think I have heard you before, but not commonly.
Okay.
Okay. So he does not take that long to realize this, but he says, I mean, I think I could use the stabilized version if necessary, but I mean, it's kind of an odd situation of obviously I had tampered with the sample to make it stabilized, and I would like it to be a more general cure overall than just to the lethal version, although obviously the cure to the lethal version is more important.
Okay. Because, as I'm sure you remember, I do have some of the stabilized version. I wasn't sure why I thought it was a good idea, but I'm glad that we're gonna be able to use it to test to make sure it works. So I have some of that. I think I know where I can get some more, or I have a couple ideas, and yeah, I'll try my best.
So, do you give him the stabilized bit that you have?
Not yet.
Okay. He just kind of nods after you say that and does not press the matter. He doesn't like ask for it, even though you mentioned that you had it. And he returns to what he's working on, which actually at the moment is not the antidote. But so yeah. Anything else that anybody does that night that they need to make note of?
Can I learn a Bartola knot? If I try to?
Yeah. Give me a investigation check.
Maybe. 11.
I am going to stick you at one knot, and it's not going to be one of the buffs.
Okay.
Okay. um, I believe just about everybody is actually in the barracks right now, which I think would, just to appease the characters immediately. Um, let me pull up a list first. I need to make a decision. Esley is by her bunk. Give me a perception check, actually. Call.
Mod 20.
Mod 20. Okay, awesome. Esley is trying very hard to look like she is not very, very interested. Um, Jax is not there. Pim is not there. Andy is in his pretty regular position of standing fairly close to the door, but he is outright just watching. Dirk, Seymour, Finks, and Arnold are sitting on the floor in kind of a circle, and Truffle is just kind of running around between them. Percy is in a chair just outside of the circle, watching and just grinning. Um, so Kayla, List, Pim, and Jax are all not there, but everybody else is.
This is perfect. Thank you.
When you come in, they all kind of look guilty a little bit of the like, we're messing with your stuff, but your stuff is a very cute bunny. So it's all like the stop and stare and waiting for you to react.
Carl's gonna be grinning.
And then they just kind of slowly go back to watching Truffle, who is just kind of running around. They'll like stick their legs out for him to jump over, and they're just playing. Yeah. Seymour, notably, has a big, goofy-looking grin on his face.
Good.
I mean, everyone seems happy, but notably, Seymour is loving
Carl's
it.
probably gonna go over and try and join the circle somewhere next to Seymour, and just kind of like, do that thing where you're like just barely touching your friend. Not like you're not like intentionally, you're just kind of like pressed. Yeah. Just join the circle.
All right. So with that, the night comes to a close, and we will kind of move into our downtime period. So basically, just like this is more for a tasks and learning type thing of, oh, hey, I want to do this. If role playing is necessary, we will do it. If not, maybe you'll just make a roll, or I'll just be like, yep, that's done. So just in order of how you appear on my screen. Actually, I guess how you appear on everyone's screen. Asher first.
I have a couple things that don't need to be role played.
Okay. Go for it.
I want to ask Oren about the energy storage stuff, and if we could work on that together.
Okay, so are you
last
doing
time we
that?
talked. What?
Like how much time has passed before you do that?
Well, he just said that he had a prototype, so I'll probably wait a couple more days.
Okay. Give me 1 second. Oh, your boy rolled a nat 20, so he actually, when you come to ask him, he hands you a pair of the items, and let me just double check real quick. I'm pretty sure I already made them. So, yeah. Go to your character sheet, go to your inventory, and I'll direct message you the name of the item real quick. Just add that to your inventory, and if you want to read about them, read with the description of the item, then that'll be what he told you, just, to keep spoilers at a minimum.
Does he tell me how to use them?
Yes. He tells you everything listed on the thing. If you have questions, you can DM me. Um, so yeah. What else?
I want to go to the forge and do what we talked about, where I try to make my stuff, and it doesn't work. So then the forge lady says,
Yeah, we already discussed the Actually, this is nice because I can go ahead and give you your little
the
feat
other
that
two
you're
things.
gonna earn.
Oh, my feet. Okay.
So yeah, the dwarven uh, forge master, the blacksmith, kind of watches you trying to make what you're trying to make, and just like every once in a while, you hear her making like annoyed and disgruntled sounds, but also being Henry and the ray of sunshine that you are, uh, she is slowly warming to you and finally breaks down and kind of forcibly starts teaching you how to do what you're trying to do correctly. Like doesn't really ask, just kind of comes in as like, no, you do this. The metal needs to be this color before you start hammering, and you got to da 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 da. um, and with that, you said you were going with squat nimbleness, right?
Yep.
Okay, so once again on your character sheet, go to wherever feats are listed, features and traits. Click on the feats button and then manage feats and squat nimbleness, and then select the couple options that you have within that. Um, and yeah, and then also throughout this downtime, you are able to make the things that you're wanting to make.
Um, and cool. Thank you. And then the last thing that I don't need to role play is ask Patch for help to sew those cuffs for Chels.
Yeah, easy enough.
Cool.
I guess give me a. What kind of check would that be? You have like time to work on it and get it done right, and you have someone teaching you. So I don't even think I'm gonna make you roll for it. So yeah.
Everything else I want to do, I need to role play, or I need to talk to Call and Run first, so we can get through their
Okay.
stuff first.
So yeah, we'll run through non-roleplay stuff, and then we'll come back through. So call. Well, I guess call. Actually, I have a few things to tell you that you are doing.
Mm-hmm.
So Zerka kind of stops what she has been doing with you, which is giving you rest time, and then you drew the short. Well, you didn't actually draw it, but she drew for you the short straw of manning the execution. So, but now she is putting you into normal rotation type stuff. So every once in a while you'll go on a scouting expedition outside of the city, but you're not even gone for a full day. Um, and that's like maybe once or twice a week at most. Much more often, you are assigned to watch either Jax or List at whichever tavern, um, and you're intended to go kind of not associate yourself directly with them, just watch out for them. Um, um, During this time, you learn that there is an incident where List is in. You aren't there for this, but List was in one of the kind of seedier taverns, and Arnold had to step in to help protect them. And as such, he's kind of been made for this type of work, so cannot participate in this guard duty anymore. Um, so after that takes place, you have to do it a little more often. And that's about it. And then also, Zerka takes you on some kind of one-on-one observation missions just throughout the city. Kind of gives you pointers, helps you with your kind of instincts uh, as far as training is concerned. And because of this, you will also be gaining a feat. I have it written down somewhere, the name of it. Somewhere. Where do I have it?
Is it just observant?
It is the observant feat, yes. Um, which
Good,
sounds super fucking nerdy, but it is so fucking nice.
It's a
So
good
nice.
one. I am jealous. It's a good one.
Yeah, increase your intelligence or wisdom score by 1. If you can see a creature's mouth while it's speaking a language you understand, you can interpret what it's saying by reading lips. And you have a +5 bonus to passive perception and passive investigation scores.
Mm-hmm. It is.
That's real nice. That's real nice.
It is Silly
What are
Waffle's
your
favorite
passive
feat.
scores now?
Good.
Thanks.
Compared to the rest of your passive anythings, good.
My passive investigation is now 23.
So
Bless.
that basically means that like they can do the thing in like every cop show with the disjointed, not actually a cop forensic scientist who stands in the room and visualizes the whole crime exactly as it happens. They just do that without trying now. Passive perception is
Henry, why were you
18 now.
sitting on the floor for 5 hours earlier? I can tell from the way the ground is.
No, there would be no why. It's like, Henry, I know that you were sitting on the floor knitting for 5 hours, and I know that you accidentally caught 3 knots or whatever.
Call is now Sherlock fucking Holmes.
And passive perception of 18 is pretty fucking crazy as well.
Pretty solid.
So yeah.
Okay, and now I got to make sure I add a +1 to one of them, to either wisdom or intelligence.
Yeah, when you select the feat, it should be able. You should like have a little drop-down box to pick which one you want to add it to.
Okay. Oh, is that what the? That's what happened there.
Yeah.
There we go.
That's why it's got the big exclamation mark.
Yeah.
Okay, so, after that, so those are the things that you are forced into doing. Is there anything that Call would like to try to do on their own? Because you're not working 24/7, like you do have downtime.
Yeah. Let's see. What Call wants to do is Call wants to go through their book like cover to cover because they have been just picking through things. Mm-hmm. So Call wants to go through their book cover to cover. Call wants to spend some time with Juster. Check out on Henry's knitting progress, and basically just wants to like be a good friend to, you know, the copious amount of people that they have in their life.
All right.
So Call's going to be doing a lot of socializing, but trying to protect enough time to really go through their book.
Okay. So first, give me. period of weeks. We're gonna do them in sets of 3. So we'll start with give me 3 insight checks.
Okay. 3 insight checks. Oh, that's not fair. It wobbled on a nat 20 and then at the last second rolled onto a 2.
Oof.
That's so not fair. I watched that happen. Okay. But then that would have been a 4 because I have 2 to insight. God, I'm rolling low. A 4, a 5, and a 13.
Okay. This is Jester, by the way, in case you were wondering.
Okay.
So yeah. I mean, he doesn't seem to be hiding anything from you at all. He seems very open when you speak with him. Y'all, you rolled really low for a couple of those. uh, there's a fair amount of the we were siblings, grew up, spent the formative years of our lives together, and you can't really lose that. But there's also some, like, there's a few times where one of you will start a joke that's just like commonplace in your life, and then you realize that the other is actually not in on it because y'all have been apart for that long. And there's more than a couple awkward silences after those happen. Um, uh, Towards the end of this downtime, though, you do kind of feel the conversation with him starts coming easier. Um, there's less of the sitting quietly trying to decide what the right thing is to say, and y'all are like warming up to each other again. Conversation is becoming a little more normal. Uh, After that, okay, let's see. You said Jester. Okay, give me. I think I'm just gonna give you one opportunity on this, but give me a perception check.
Okay. Work for me here. No, it did not. Let's see. I have a 5.
Yeah. You don't like the. Just in general, you don't really. You don't notice any special attention being paid to you by anyone.
Okay.
Yeah. And then uh, 3 investigation checks. These are going to be stupid numbers.
Okay.
What's your +2 investigation?
10. No, 7.
No, it's 8.
8.
Yeah, +8 to investigate.
God bless.
Oh, because you got your investigation just bumped, didn't it?
No, it did not. It's been an 8.
Oh.
No, and I decided to try and actually, like, buff my wisdom a little bit so that I could up other things instead. Things like perception. But I was at an off number, so it didn't actually bump any of the scores.
Yeah.
Okay, so first one is an 11. I'm rolling low on these. Second is a 12. What the fuck? I'm going with a different dice right now. And third is... What the fuck, guys? 11, 12, 13.
All over 10, at least. So
Jesus.
you are able to make good work in translating your book. But like the translation is taking a while to do. So even though we're saying this is a couple weeks, you don't really get a lot of study time on what has been translated, because it takes a whole lot of writing the page down, writing it down again, starting to translate, and because Thieves' Cant is really weird, and so you get the book fully translated. So in the future, you will just need to investigate as if it were a fully written book at least. Um, Let me look at one thing.
Then we look out the window.
What?
Will you look out the window?
What's up?
Weird.
I don't see it.
I wasn't sure. Okay.
Um. Uh. One thing I'll say is in your book, you do see, in translating it, you do see stuff about stabilizing the substance. But that's all of the new information you get at this point. Yeah. There is a lot more of the equations and such that's really difficult to translate back and forth, which is what takes up most of your time. And even once you have them written down, they just aren't something that you understand because you're not mathematically trained. But yeah, so that happens. Am I missing something? I feel like I'm missing something that you said you wanted to do. Nope.
The only other thing Call really wanted to do was hang out with the dozen, but you don't
Yeah,
need to
so
really
yeah,
do
that happens.
Yeah. And I also mentioned Henry's knitting progress, but Asher just solved that in the chat.
I can't believe I just rolled nat 20s for the dumbest shit. It's like session 2 is that elf that was just in the court and his shoes didn't make any noise. A dwarf had Bartolin knots.
And now Henry's a fucking master knitter and is just churning out fucking Fair Isle sweaters and shit.
I have an 8 to dexterity, and yet a -1 on all of my dexterity skills that aren't buffed, and yet I have amazing at knitting.
You practiced really hard. It's like that I'm gonna get so good at hugging thing. You're just sitting here going, I'm going to wrap people in a hug every day.
Oh my god, that's so cute.
My hugs.
So give me. I want. What do I call this? I'm going to call it persuasion because there's not a skill called making friends. Give me 3 persuasion checks.
For me?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. I only have a +1 to persuasion. Let's see. Maybe I'm gonna try 1 with the duck dice and see if it's redeemed itself, and then if not, I'm gonna move to a different die. That is a 10. Okay, a 10. A mod 20, the duck is redeeming itself. And a 15. What the fuck?
Alright, so, mod 20 is nice. 15 is not bad. So, this is specifically for Seymour. Who, I mean, already you are already kind of close friends with him specifically. at first during this downtime, he's a little he like smiles and such when it is to be expected, but when he thinks nobody's looking, the smile dies real quick. But then after a little while of you spending like intentionally spending time with him, and he is that's the kind of thing that he picks up on. Um, he gets a lot better. Um, Although you notice that he's a little more volatile than he has been in the past. Like he seems to get angry just a little bit easier. Um, Nothing crazy, no like insane outbursts, no like he doesn't start punching people in the street or anything, but just like you can see that things get to him a little easier than they used to. Um,
Yeah.
but partly through your own encouragement and also because uh, Zerka is good at things, he does also spend quite a bit of time with Percy. And you, because you rolled got a mod 20, I'm going to go ahead and let you know, like you get the feeling it could be way, way worse than it is, but he's got people that genuinely care about him putting time into him, and so he is still trying to think of a word that doesn't sound robotic. Like he's still able to get through his day, and he's still able to get his work done. Um, so yeah. Um, uh, and other than that, if down the road y'all want to have shared anecdotes with the between the party, you can totally have them. Um, okay, so Jenny, what is Ren doing during this period of downtime?
So this would probably be a roleplay thing, so we're probably not going to do that immediately. But like the next day, Ren would be like going back to the mage tower and like seeing if he could like just interact with Kenda again and see how that goes. Um, the rest of the time, he wants to be training with Barnabas. He wants to be refining his calligraphy stuff because he was supposed to be a scribe and I just didn't have the room for the proficiency. Um, he wants to be checking in with the ring just to like see how it's doing and, you know, not any like, hey, it's time to interrogate you, but more like, hey, how are you doing sort of thing. And he does want to hang out with Henry and Call more often, like, you know, together and individually. So, you know, hair braiding and like study time and stuff and just nice things.
All right.
Yeah.
So first of all, um, Barnabas is an insanely good teacher. Uh, like like a crazy good teacher. So you don't even need to make rolls to get the feat, which neither did they have to make rolls to get the feat and that he is going to give you. I actually kind of modified it a little bit because your intelligence score is 11. Um, so uh, it is actually the feat is called Barnabas's student. Um, it is literally just uh, magic, or like it's just I forget, it's like magic initiate, the wizard one, and I just added that it gives you +1 to intelligence. Um,
Very
but
nice.
you at least have a +1 modifier to your intelligence after adding that. Um, just let me know if you can't find it, and I'll see if I have to do something. Um, I think you should be able to because I made it and I'm sharing content. I don't know. So you do that, as well as you get to know him a little bit better. and he's a very practical person. Um, ooh, no, I've got you need to roll for this. But what are you gonna roll for this? I think I'm gonna make it persuasion. So give me 3 persuasion rolls.
Okay. That is not fantastic. Um, first one's an 8. Second one is an 11. And third one is a 19.
All right. So Ren being Ren, that actually kind of works out pretty narratively. Um,
Okay.
so it takes a little bit for Ren to kind of warm up to Barnabas, but after a little while, Ren just kind of slips out a joke, kind of even on accident, and you notice that Barnabas is very amused. Like, not really a dirty joke, but just a joke in general. And Barnabas isn't like laughing out loud uproariously or anything, but he's very amused and like for a while afterward, like half an hour afterward, you notice him kind of grinning a little bit to himself. Um, and yeah, that's the insight that you get on Barnabas is that he actually really loves jokes. And not a lot of people tell him jokes because they're intimidated by him. Um, uh, Other than that, he's an extraordinarily practical person, which is kind of funny for how powerful of a wizard he is. Wizards don't tend to be practical people. um, but yeah, um, and like I said, he's an extraordinary teacher. Like it takes him like a day to learn how to figure out how you learn, and then everything he teaches you is like in the exact way that you need it taught to learn it. So you, in a matter of a couple weeks, learn how to cast wizard spells. Um,
Very nice. Also, Magic Initiate is pretty awesome. Sorcerers have like one of the more limited kind of spell lists. And so this is fucking cool. Um, I like this one a lot.
yeah.
Okay, love this.
What was it called? I want to look at it.
It is,
Magic Initiate.
so that's the general one, and you can just look at that, and it'll give you the exactly what it is. The only difference between that and the actual feat that I gave Ren is it bumps the intelligence modifier.
Oh, it's Martimus's student is on mine too. That's cool.
It should be, because my homebrew is shared with y'all. Don't go searching through my homebrew because there are secrets, but I'm not even sure that you can just like look directly at my homebrew items. But yeah, um, call seems to be having some issues.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to hop out and hop back in again. Discord's acting up.
It is suddenly extraordinarily hot in here. Okay.
Welcome to my work. That happens all the time when the air kicks
Yeah.
on.
Yeah. Huh. Ba-bum-bum. It's a shame because the rest of the house is frigid most of the day.
I am very cold right now.
Okay. And then you said more friendly things. Uh, Honestly, training with Barnabas could reasonably take up the vast majority of the downtime. Is there anything else that you would try to do on your own?
I'm so sorry.
Is there anything else that you would like to do during your downtime by yourself?
Really just the calligraphy and I just the stuff that I mentioned, and then really just talking to Kenda at some point.
All right. I guess we will get into the roleplay portion of the downtime. I mean, shit. Let's just start with Kenda if you want.
All right.
I need to make some popcorn.
Oh yikes. Okay.
You made motion like you're actually going to stand up. Are you actually about to make popcorn, or are you just very excited?
Do you want some?
I'm okay.
I might make some.
Uh,
I'm gonna make some.
just keep your headset on so you can hear what's going on.
Absolutely,
oh my god.
headset is on.
I doubt that it's actually going to be that dramatic.
But
Is it?
Let's find out.
Oh my god. I'm glad that Ren's discomfort is so entertaining to you all.
All right. So how does Ren go about this getting this conversation?
Okay. If he doesn't run into Kenda naturally in that first day, he might actually stop by their office.
Give me a perception check.
7.
He does not run into them outside of their office.
Okay. I need to use a different die. This one's going in dice jail. Okay. So, he has to go to Kenda's office then. Okay.
All right.
I had a whole speech prepared. Now it's out of my head.
Oh no.
Okay. All right, we're gonna go for it.
Real quick, would you mind leaving the call and coming back? You've gone. Your image has gone away. Yeah, that's what it looks like.
That's what you've looked like for a minute or two now.
Awesome. Okay. All right. Bye.
Hey, you're back. Yay.
Okay.
Okay. So, you are standing at the door to Kenda's office.
All right, we're gonna knock.
A couple seconds go by with no response. Damn it, Ash. A couple seconds go by with no response, and then you finally hear them just call out from inside. Yes, enter.
All right. He steps inside, like blank face, just trying to like read the room first.
All right, give me an insight check.
Mod 20.
Okay.
Skull die is working.
So, they are a little surprised to see you, but not. They don't seem entirely out of sorts. Like it doesn't look like they're in a panic when you come in.
Okay.
What did I write down?
I love that you mentioning that suggests that that would be the assumption.
This is more to clarify.
That was a possibility.
It was a possibility.
It was a possibility.
Um. Okay. Yeah. Um. They they sit up straight in their chair. Not that they ever have bad posture. Um. And yeah, they're going to hold to their word, and there is no magic fuckery going on uh, in the office at this time.
Glad to hear it. Oh fuck. Okay, I guess he'll start off with I'm gonna take forever to figure out what he's gonna say again because I love taking forever. I'm not. I'm not. He's gonna say hello. He's probably definitely like halting and kind of careful like I'm being right now too. Um hello. I wanted to just kind of clear the air. I know I haven't spoken to you in a couple of days. Would now be a good time to talk really quick?
Make a perception check for me.
Another mod 20.
So they were writing something. Um, the nib of the pen they are using to write with is currently pushed through the paper they were writing on, and by their body, you cannot tell that there is any strain or stress. But the nib of this pen is very clearly broken. There is ink very, very slowly spreading from where they have jammed it into the parchment they were writing on. But
Ren's career was supposed to be that he would be a scribe. This is making him physically ill. He's fine.
They look at you, and they say, clearing the air would probably be a good idea.
Okay. I know that there was something of a misunderstanding in our last interaction, and I wanted to reassure you. I hope that you know that I still will not, tell anyone about the things that you told me, and I hope that if you wish, that I can be something of a confidant to you. I would like to be friends.
Persuasion check.
19.
Sorcerers and their charisma. Um, um, her expression remains very much the same. Sorry, their expression remains very much the same. Uh, uh, they throughout the entirety of this, by their body language, do not seem to be in any stress. They don't seem worried. They don't seem nothing seems to be by their body language. Nothing seems wrong.
Okay, also, I do want to establish Ren is completely sincere here. Like, that is what he wants. He's not being, like,
okay.
nefarious or two-faced about it.
They, their head angles downward slightly when you mention that you still want to keep their secret for them. And the hand, they lay down the now broken pen and make a very slightly disgusted face at themselves for having broken the pen. And they do the gesture that you have now seen a few times, and you stop hearing that ambient noise. Um, they look up at you and they say, "Thank you." Yesterday was a lot of new things for me. Um, Sorry to break hard and just explain what they look like right now. They have a paler, not super pale, but kind of tanned, um, humanoid color, or not humanoid colored, but like human
There are
colored
a lot of
skin.
those.
That I'm trying to get to the word. But yeah, slightly tanned, but human colored skin at the moment. And they are wearing something that actually looks really normal, in that it's just kind of robes. Um, and yeah, it's odd because they don't look like themselves because of this, but they look very normal. Um, like I said, there's no magic effects going on in the room, and their body is feminine shaped at this time as well. But one difference is they do appear to have their hair is normally short, but it is completely, they are bald at this point. No hair at all, and also the normal shadowy kind of looks like facial hair, but actually looks like shadows that swirl across their face is also not there. Um, like it feels like this, like you obviously don't know what their like most base form is, but it feels like this might be it. Um, in the fact that it just kind of feels like there's nothing added. Um, then again, saying this, you have no idea to what extent the control of their appearance actually is, and whether there is any illusion at all to the appearance changes that they can make of themselves. Um, which, if that were the case, then there like isn't a base layer. Um, but so they thank you that you plan to keep their secret, and then um, uh, I have to admit, uh, which this feels like bragging, but I've never been in a situation where someone has told me no, and I misread your reactions to my actions, and I am very sorry for um, what I did. Um,
Thank you. What you did upset me, but I am not upset at you. And I hope that going forward you don't feel that you have to be too cautious around me. I don't want things to be strained like that. But I wanted to clear the air, so thank you.
They actually stand up from behind their desk and walk around. And as you're speaking, they do that. And when you mention them not being too cautious, they kind of get this wry smile that, and they give you a look that very much says, I don't think, or no, they're going to outright say, caution is not something I have often been accused of being overly. um,
Red actually does kind of, just smile, almost laugh like that, like they're in on the joke together, kind of in a weird, really weird sort of way. But
Barnabas has laid a bit of claim to you, taking you on as a student. Barnabas is good, but I do hope that you will find time to spend with me, not seeing me as your superior. The relief that it gave me to be able to tell you of my past
sure,
is
just eating popcorn, I'm sorry.
is is immeasurable, and I do not think it would be healthy for me to continue to bottle this knowledge to myself. I think that I need someone to share it with, and at the same time, I am scared to share it with another person. So if you are willing, I would like to be friends. And they give maybe the most genuine smile you've ever seen on their face as they say the word friends. Like, not much about Kenda ever truly looks genuine, which kind of comes with the being able to change their appearance at will.
It's so weird because when you describe them as, kind of being, you know, organic tones instead of, like the Technicolor Kenda we usually see, I was like, that's not right. Kenda's naked. What's happening? So
as still a very serious topic, but the mood is tending to go a little lighter with y'all's conversation, seeing as neither of you, your worst fears have kind of been proven to be wrong at this point. They invite you to stay in their office for a little while just to talk. And as we will wait until we good?
Can you see me, Bronwyn?
No?
I still can't fucking see Asher.
I've been really pissed this whole time. That's really sad.
Oh.
All I'm getting is a buffering screen, and that's all I've been getting since they got popcorn.
Oh, sad day.
It'd be really sad.
I know. Don't make any expressions at me, Asher. I won't be able to see them.
You'll just have to rewatch the stream to get all of Asher's reactions. um. Do you? Sorry, jumping directly back into the game. Does Ren accept to stay and talk?
Yeah.
As you continue talking, their skin turns to a bright yellow, and kind of you like look away for a period and look back, and suddenly they're in just like oddly flowing robes that like look as if they're standing in a high wind, but they're sitting down. um, they have gone back to just casually playing with magic throughout this conversation. And yeah.
All right. All right. Optimistic, a little perplexed, but optimistic. All right. And so yeah, that was probably going to be on the first day. So he'll, he's making time for, his teammates, and he's also going to be checking in, with the ring, and also checking in with Kenda. So there we go.
They're still a very busy person. Yeah, person is still accurate. Um, uh, I always have to stop myself before saying human, because most of the people are not human. um, but person is still accurate. They're a very busy person, so they're not always able to have quite as long of conversations as that first one. But they're often entirely willing to waste an hour or two with you. I don't even think I'm going to let you roll for this. There's no progress. Like, they don't go any deeper. It's all surface level conversation. They quickly start joking about the incident, but never try anything again. And also they're very careful about ever touching Ren, and it's very rare. And it's usually it's never like a oh, we're having a conversation and I'm just going to touch you because we're talking. It's always like I'm like gently moving you aside so I can get this thing, or like never conversational touching, if that makes any sense at all.
It does.
Okay.
Fascinating. Okay.
But they return to the confident, somewhat magically careless Kenda that you knew from before. Yeah. Whenever y'all are having a serious conversation, they never have, which, like I said, you did not have many of those over this time. There's never any of the flamboyant, just magic displays going on. They seem to intentionally stop doing that when you are speaking seriously. But yeah, who wants to go next with a role play scene?
I have something for the same day.
Okay.
Ron, were you going to say something too?
I think. Wait, did someone say something? Or did you just say okay?
I was wanting you to say it.
Can I not hear Asher?
Fuck.
Can you not?
I'm logging into my work computer to see if I thought it fixes it.
I think maybe both of you should get out of the call and come back.
Okay.
What losers?
Yeah. Bunch of bums.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
I can hear you.
Okay. Both of you speak.
Hi.
Okay, Ash, that was very
Hello,
quiet.
hello.
Hello, hello. Can you hear me?
That I can hear.
Okay, good.
I don't think the sound's coming through your mic. I think it's coming through your like computer right
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, it is because this
Your
mic
sounds.
doesn't like my laptop. My
Yeah. So
now.
when
Oh,
you
okay.
sit back, you are
Yeah,
extraordinarily quiet.
Oh, right. Sorry. Yeah.
you're
Sorry.
very hard to hear. But now I can see you again.
Yay. Okay. So, Ash, you said you had something for same day?
Yes, there's something I want to ask. I want to talk to Colin Wren about going to both. Okay, about having times where Oren can just we all hang out in my room and Oren can just read through the book and look for the cure. And then also I want to talk to them about going to the hearts to actively talk about coup planning. So yeah, I just wanted to find them to talk about that. Bronwyn, what did you want to do? Just to
Call did in the last session say that they needed to like catch up with Etsley.
mm, yeah, and I need to talk to Paul about Etsley as well.
How about we do the talk to Call about Esley, and then we will have the scene with Esley, and then we'll go to all of you together speaking coup things.
Okay. Just so you know, I want to have the coup talk like the day that they can just start having like the
Yeah.
night after, so that Henry can start going to the hearts
Yeah.
like regularly. But
We'll
yeah,
plan that
but
out, but
obviously it doesn't
that's
have to. Yeah. Yep.
that is the most story progressing item on the docket. So we'll hold that for the end. So, Colin Henry, speaking of Estley.
Okay. So I think Henry's gonna go and seek Call out. Okay. Well, do we want to have Henry talk to Call first or Call to Edsley first?
I think Henry talked to Call for the chance of the three of you having a conversation, if that is what you decide to do. But I think Henry talks to Call first.
Sorry, I'm trying to end this. Um.
I wonder if
My
this
own.
conversation is happening while Call's in the middle of just angrily watching Henry just churn out a fucking sweater out of nowhere.
Yeah. So I just
so long to learn how to do this, you jackass.
Yeah, so Call, I just have something really important that I need to talk about, and grab another skin. And so,
Yeah, and Call's just sitting here like, what the fuck?
okay, sorry, I'm gonna try to leave this call and join on my other laptop. See if that makes it better. Be right back.
Tonight is the night of technical difficulties.
Now we find out which camera's better too. Maybe. I've just got a loading.
She's just buffering for me.
Me too.
Okay.
They are now deafened. Hello? I don't hear them at all.
I see them now.
Yep. The picture just froze a little bit on a For a second, their picture froze with them doing a Disney blink.
Yep. Goodbye, Asher.
And back.
Hello, Asher.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh.
I see you.
Hey.
Hello. Oof. Can you hear us? Can you hear us? Hello?
Oh goodness.
Hello? Is it very quiet? I can no longer hear you. I could
Can you
for
hear me?
Okay, there you are.
Okay. Change my microphone. Sorry, one second.
I'm choosing Ren's new spells. I'm very excited.
The cantrips are, like, in my opinion, it's pretty crazy to get 2 more cantrips.
Yeah, no, that's kind of wild. Honestly, I was looking before too at like Ren really doesn't have a whole lot of first level spells. Um, sorcerers don't usually get a whole lot of spells either,
Oh,
like just
hey,
in general.
hey,
Hmm?
you should. There should be a feat called Barnabas's Student that is exactly the same,
Ooh.
but it gives you a +1 intelligence.
Okay, so you actually put that one in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's
Oh,
up at the
fuck
top of
yeah.
the keys.
Okay. Okie dokie.
Because that way you don't have a +0 modifier for those spells.
And I have, okay. All right. Love that.
And honestly, being around Barnabas would make you smarter.
Yes. And
Also, I think I'm going to go ahead and commit to this. Hi. I am going to change the normal ASI or feat choice to an ASI and feat. So those of you who took feats, which I think might have just been Henry, get an ASI, and y'all took ASIs, so you each get a free feat. And
oh, we are so spoiled.
the thing is, the feats are cool. Feats are cool in
They
this game,
are.
and like, if y'all just absolutely decimate everything I throw at you, I will just throw harder things at you.
Just watch me pick like skilled or something just to get calligraphy.
I
Um,
mean,
I'll do it.
you could though. Skilled is insane. I may have used skilled on a few of the NPCs.
Oh, I love skilled. Um, I'm figuring out which first level spell I want.
um, Ash, did you say something? I thought I saw your mouth moving. But yeah, we we will do that at the end of the session, no matter what happens in session.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yay! Can you see me, Bronwyn?
I can.
Yay!
The only thing is
Okay.
your camera now freezes every couple seconds for like a second.
But look how cute I am eating popcorn.
You're very
You're
if hey, it actually
You
worked
look
for a
like
couple
Thomas
seconds
Shelby.
there, so I did see it. So yeah, whenever your character would get an ASI, you get both an ASI and a feat. And I'm also probably gonna continue giving y'all feats for story-related things, because feats are fucking cool.
Feats are.
Yeah.
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello.
Sorry, I was testing my mic.
You good? All right. So Henry.
So does that mean I get 2 points? Just two fucking free points?
At the end of this session, yes.
Sorry. Okay. Oh, so I don't just get to.
You do not get to just add it right now.
But I want to increase my wisdom.
Stop.
Before talking to Bay.
Is Sleep Bay or is Call Bay?
Or is Ren Bay? Or is Andarian Bay? Or is Chels
Well, we're
Bay?
about.
Or Trent?
Can you calm your tits?
Nope. I'm excited.
And progress the game.
Yes. Okay, so Henry goes to call. And I think goes to their barracks just at a time when they're there. And I think knocks on the door. Does Andy answer it or does Call answer it?
What time of day is it?
I would say like 2 p.m.
The door is propped open.
Okay. Is Andy standing by the door? Is Andy standing by
No.
the door?
Andy is not standing by the door. Andy is working because the man has a job.
Not like a 9 to 5 anyway. Henry goes up to Call and says, "Hey, do you have a sec? Can we talk about something?"
Call's going to be like, yeah, sure. Call's going to look around and who all's in the room before they suggest whether or not they need to step out.
What? I'll go through the list real quick and decide who's there. Give me a second.
Thanks.
Okay, let's see.
Okay, if there are people in the room in general, Call's probably going to say let's step outside, because the last time there were people in the room and Henry, admittedly was in a state, but Henry did announce a coup in their bedroom. So
How dare you?
am I wrong?
No, Henry, 100% agree.
So,
You could have done a bubble dog.
The day. Finks and Percy are there. They're having a bit of a one-on-one, just like in the back, talking quietly to each other. I think that's it, actually. In the bit of courtyard, like just outside the barracks, a couple more are training. Pim, List, and Kayla are training just outside of the barracks, and Finks and Percy are having their combo.
Cool. Call is probably going to lead Henry closer to that awkward little corner, but not make it as furtive, oh we're hiding and talking, but more like we're just stepping away because it's a semi-private place to have a conversation. Then just be like, yeah, what's up?
So, I've already apologized to you and Ren for going mental the day of the execution, but as I was thinking about it, I realized that I said some things I probably shouldn't, and Seymour and Esley might have heard me. And but like at the time, I didn't think they would have heard me, but thinking back, they might have, and I just have this sense of foreboding, and I wanted your thoughts about it.
You definitely were heard. You definitely were heard. This is actually probably a good time to mention to you that we all kind of have like obligations to like talk about any relevant things. We are the core of Blades and a very select group within that. So maybe be careful about the things you say in front of the dozen. Like, I trust them, but that's not the problem. The problem is putting them in a position where they're going to have to choose between your right to privacy and their obligation to do their job. Which I'm sure you know, but I'm not trying to insult your interpersonal intelligence or anything like that, but do think it warrants saying at this juncture.
Well, I appreciate that. That's very nice of you to say. I guess I don't know really what the core of Blades is. I thought it was like a weapons specialty Blades. What do y'all do? What is your responsibility with information? Asher has been wanting to ask that for so long.
I can tell. Hall's gonna say, well, I mean, if you think about it, anyone who works for the Count would be obligated to report activity or like discussion of a coup or immediately be complicit within it. Like that's inherent of just everybody. So, it's just something to be careful about. And as for the Blades, like, can't really speak to what the rest of them do. I've been working for Zerka this whole time, so I'm really mostly familiar with the dozen. And you see us, we're doing all sorts. We're in and out just as Zerka needs.
Okay. It isn't exactly what I asked, but I'm not going to press you for information about your job if it's not something you can talk about. I understand that obviously you have your right to privacy. So,
it's not that I feel like I'm not able to tell you. It's that it's a it's such a hodgepodge of jobs that I'm not really sure how to tell you. So, I guess just bear with me over time, and I'll figure out how to articulate better.
yeah, definitely. Oh, okay. I think I know the problem with my camera.
As we jump radically between voices.
Is that better?
You were frozen the whole time you said, "Is that better?"
That's funny. Okay. Job. Okay.
Ooh.
So. Okay. So I genuinely did not realize that they would have heard me. I don't know how. Thinking back, that seems dumb, but in the moment, I just had no thought of that. I I mean, I guess if they turn me in, like that's, I mean, there's nothing I can really do about that. But I do just want to go and apologize to both of them. I mean, I've never officially met either of them. Is there anything I need to know? Can you introduce me so that I can apologize?
Estlie was in the group that met y'all on the way back from Steelwood Forest, so you have met her.
Yeah. Okay. But then.
And that journey took like time.
Yeah, y'all
Okay.
were like she kind of stayed out of the conversation for the most part for that trip, but like you have met her, like y'all have been introduced to each other. That was role played.
Right. Okay. So then Henry doesn't say that because he would have remembered that, obviously.
But
I did
you
not.
have not been introduced to Seymour.
Okay, so I guess I just say that about Seymour. Like, you know, I've met Edsley, but introduce me to Seymour.
I mean, yeah, I'd be happy to introduce you. I also need to talk to Edsley myself about the thing, but yeah. Might I counsel that you just be careful about how you approach it? I definitely heard Edsley talking about a plausible deniability when she left. So it is entirely possible that bringing up the subject again will not actually make it better. I guess play it carefully. And I'm not entirely sure if Seymour heard. He might have been asleep. So, I'm not necessarily going to counsel you out of saying something, just play it carefully.
Okay, I'll think about that. Thank you.
Okay, of course.
How's Seymour doing, by the way? I know he wasn't doing well.
He's getting better. It took a toll on him. I think we're all a little worried about him, but he seems to be doing okay.
Okay. That's good. I'm glad he's getting better.
Thank you for asking.
Of course. I know he's important to you.
I appreciate that. He is one of my closest friends. So, did you want to have time to think on it, or did you want to go speak with them now? At the very least, I could introduce you to Seymour.
Yeah, let's do that, and I'll think about say to Edsley.
Okay. They are not in the barracks at the moment, but if y'all want to kind of like hang out for a little bit until they are, then y'all can do that.
Would presumably Call would know their schedule roughly. Would they be coming back relatively soon? Because if it's only like 2 p.m., they're not going to be back till 8.
Seymour could honestly be back like anytime.
Okay.
And Esley is actually not working at the moment.
Okay.
So you don't know when she would be back.
Okay. Well, in that case, Paul would convey as much to Henry and be like, you know, if you want to hang out, pet Truffle for a little while, Seymour will probably be back very shortly, so.
Do y'all want to do a little bit of sparring?
We could do a little bit of sparring.
Wait, okay, one question first. Have y'all officially told Henry that Edsley is UNT? Did that happen last session?
Yeah, that happened.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
That happened.
I know we talked about it like twice out of session, so I wasn't sure if it actually happened. And I don't have any notes anymore.
Okay. While y'all are sparring, can you both give me a perception check? I'm not gonna have y'all actually like fight, because that would take a very long time.
Mod 20.
10? Okay. Shit, you got a mod 20. I love it when y'all meet my DCs. So first of
20
all,
the fucking DC.
20 was the DC, yes. On a lot of these, I have like a lot of DCs, and it's like depending on which one you meet, you get different information. But
Like
for
the gay agenda
this,
in Shells.
yeah, very similar to that actually. So Henry is kind of caught up. I'm gonna say that y'all kind of mingle together with Pim and Kayla and who else did I say was out there? I know I listed 3 people. Did I say list? Oh yeah. Oh, okay. So y'all spar all together, the 5 of you, and for whatever reason, Call takes a break for a few minutes while Henry is still like kind of going at it. And looking around, you notice Zerka with Lord Commander Ryan, which is like other than Ander is the biggest boss you have. And they are. It's Zerka. So, from the looks of. Excuse me. From the looks of Lord Commander Ryan, you think they are trying to be secretive. But also, it's Zerka, and you spotted them. So you kind of get the feeling that they're not being as secretive as they could be. But they are walking closer together than colleagues walk. And this is just over a couple minutes that you're watching this happen. They're walking close together. They're talking, and they're far enough away that you can't hear them, but you can still tell that they are talking in hushed tones. I'm saying this happened before you got the observant feat, so you cannot read their lips and know what they are saying, because this is the beginning of Downtime, not the end. But they're walking very close to each other, and as they... I need to make a roll. Nope. As you can see, their conversation comes to an end. He... You see he angles his face so that his cheek is more towards her as their conversation is coming to an end. And she has to stand on her tiptoes to do this, but she kisses him on the cheek before parting ways. And this is
I didn't know I wanted this, but I wanted this so much. Thank you.
You haven't met this person. You haven't met this guy. You have no idea what he's like. Also, he's her superior.
I wanted her to have somebody. That's what I wanted. I don't know about this guy.
Well, that is what you see. Yeah. That's what you see.
I do love that since this is at the beginning of all of our downtime, this means that all of Call's one-on-one sessions with Zerka after this call is going to be sitting there going, I know something you don't.
I know something that I know.
Yeah.
Call's not going to say anything about it, but also Call's going to be sitting there like,
Call would never say anything again.
We give so much shit when we don't tell the group something, and you don't tell the group fucking anything, okay? You're like, oh, you didn't tell me about the fox. It's like, you're not telling us any of the juicy shit. Come on.
You know what? That's entirely fair. That is entirely fair. This is a valid thing. You should call me out for this. You should absolutely call me out for this.
So, that happened. Shortly, a little while after, like minutes after, Seymour comes from the keep, or from the Grand Hall, rather. He and Darion are headed back to the barracks.
Excellent. Call is going to break away from the sparring and try to snag Henry's attention and walk over to Seymour and Andy.
A 9 perception check. Do I notice?
Yeah, you notice when Call attempts to get your attention. Yes.
Oh, okay, good. Okay, great. I go with Call.
Call wasn't like trying to hide their beckoning.
Call's going, Henry, Henry.
Huh?
I mean, it does take a couple yells of his name before he realizes.
Just snapping, yo. But so Call is going to head over, flag Seymour down, and kind of jog over there because Call's a chipper little fucker who exercises. I have personally decided that Call is that kind of asshole who would be absolutely drinking like 5 a.m. smoothies and going on like morning runs before everything because fuck them. But anyway,
in their defense, they've been forced to do it for the past 2 years.
They have been, but now I feel like they enjoy it, and that's the part that's not okay.
I mean, when you have a routine of something for 2 years.
Yes, that's fair. But anyway, so Call's gonna flag Seymour down, and just say, oh Seymour, don't know if you remember, but this is my friend Ren, or not Ren, sorry, this is my friend Henry. I don't know who I'm talking about. I was looking at Jenny when I said that. And he's the one that I went on the mission in the forest with. I just wanted to introduce you guys.
He nods along with this whole conversation. Seymour is Seymour has a very good memory. And yeah, he gives a somewhat formal bow and says hello.
I go, hello. Very nice to meet you. I've heard great things about you from Call, and so I'm hoping that we can be friends.
He says, "Oh well, if your information's all from Call, I wouldn't trust much of it." And he side eyes.
Call's just gunning her in. Like, not confirming or denying anything.
By the way, Andarion is like a little bit in the background, standing perfectly still.
I think Henry also. I mean, would we have passed him on the way
Well,
to go
like
talk to
the
Seymour?
two of you are coming to talk to each other. Like
okay.
were walking together and y'all were walking together.
Okay. I think I say hello, Andarion. How are you?
He responds with the bow that you have come to know from him. And you notice that he is still wearing the flowers you gave him on his belt. And they're still blooming and vibrant.
I think Henry says, I think a flower would look really nice in your hair. Have you ever thought of doing it like that?
He has this. So he is fully righted, standing straight up. His head cocks to the side slightly while he's looking at you, with no facial expression at all. And then he plucks one of the flowers off of the little bouquet that you gave him and threads it into his hair behind his ear.
That's lovely.
No,
Even
no
nicer than I
expressions at
imagined.
all.
Can I do a perception check?
Sure.
Oh, that's an 8.
What are you wanting perception on? What are you trying to see?
Trying to see his expression.
There was no expression, especially with an 8.
I tried to do an insight check, and I got an 8 as well. So I was like, I'll do perception. Also an 8.
Well, so he's good at picking up when people are trying to do certain things, and he realizes y'all are not trying to specifically have a conversation with him. So he gives a much less of a bow, but still a bow, and walks past y'all to join with the others who are sparring.
Do any of them comment on the flower in his hair?
Sorry, what did you say?
List?
I said, do any of them comment on the flower in his hair?
List?
Let's see.
List is a little shit, wouldn't they?
List is a bit of a shit, but give me a second. Nope, no one comments on it. They are fighting at the moment, so they're a little, preoccupied. So, see more conversations.
Call's kind of stepping back to let Seymour and Henry have a chance to converse. Call knows Seymour and Henry.
I think Henry just starts talking. I have no idea what to say, but Henry would know what to say. Just casual talking.
Are you going to try and address the elephant in the room at all?
So you're starting with just small talk?
Yeah, I'm starting with small talk.
This small talk goes better than any small talk you have ever small talked. Seymour has proficiency in small talk is the way I'll say it. Also, I am echoing from somewhere, and I don't know where.
I'm not getting an echo.
I think it is coming from Asher, but oh well.
I think it is too, because my mic is lit up even when I'm not talking, but the sound is going into my headset. Wait, is it coming through here? Okay, what about now?
I don't know. Let me talk for a second and find out. It's still coming through. I'll get over it. It's very faint, and I'm okay. I can get over it.
Okay, sorry.
No problem. So yeah, do you, as Rowan said, do you bring up the elephant in the courtyard?
Yes, Henry would.
Okay.
I don't want to, but Henry's going to.
Okay.
I think Henry is going to... No, I don't think... Oh, fuck. Because I'm torn, because bringing it up would bring back memories to Seymour of him not having, a good day. I don't think Henry's gonna do it. I don't think Henry's gonna bring it up. He's just gonna have small talk and try to connect with Seymour.
Okay.
Unless, can I roll to see if I can bring it up in a tactful way?
You can roll insight for me.
Okay, I'll roll. 16.
So what you get, the I'm not going to give you an answer on the tactful thing, but what I will give you is he seems entirely comfortable talking to you. He like it doesn't seem like there's something going on in his mind while he's talking to you. Now, again, this is what he's good at, is just talking about nothing. But he doesn't seem like he has any questions for you. He doesn't seem suspicious of you. 16 insight, like you get a pretty good grasp on how he is feeling while talking to you, and nothing raises any alarms for you.
Okay. So whether or not that's true, I think I'm gonna go based off of what you said, and so Henry's not gonna bring it up.
Okay.
Oh, there's actually something else I need to talk to Call about.
All right. Well, go ahead with that.
I'm sorry. So I think I finished talking to Seymour, and we wrap up the conversation like normal people would. And I go to Call and I say, "Hey, there's actually something else that I wanted to talk to you about. Can we go take a walk?"
Sure. Everything okay?
Yeah. This is you are one of my very, very good friends, and I value our friendship enough to tell you this, that I understand that your intentions were very caring and were meant in the best way, and you were being a good friend by doing this, but I am sensitive to the way you said it, and so I'm just wanting to make you aware that just the phrasing, I'm sensitive about it. When we were in your room and I was, talking about the things I shouldn't have said, and you it felt very stern that you said I needed to not put that on other people. And I know that you were talking about Etsley and Seymour now, but at the time I thought you were talking about yourself and Ren. And I thought you were saying that I couldn't talk about things that were important to me, to my really good friends. And I'm sensitive because that has happened in the past, that somebody important to me has said that I shouldn't put my own burdens and things that I'm going through on other people. And they did that in situations that it wasn't true, and it wasn't fair of them to say that. So I'm just sensitive, and I wanted to let you know that that hurt me. But I also understand that it came from a loving place.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for telling me. You are correct. I did mean Excellent Seymour, and I'm sorry that it came off the way it did. I can understand why. That was the takeaway you got, and I'm sorry for that. I stand by what I meant, but I don't stand by what the impression it gave you and the effect that had on you, and for that I am sorry.
Henry gives him a hug immediately.
Call is going to return the hug. Call's like, you are absolutely able to talk to myself and Ren about things. I'm sure I'm not going out of my lane speaking for Ren in this moment, but you absolutely can talk to us about these things. I'm sorry I gave you the impression that that was not the case.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And like I said, I appreciate you telling me in the moment and talking with me about this. And also holds their hand and gives their hand a squeeze.
Call will squeeze in return.
Cute.
Now I need a perception check from both of you.
Cool. Is there anything else we need to do? Oh, Call needs to talk to Esley. Do we want to do that?
I need a perception check from the both of you.
Okay.
Y'all said y'all went on a walk for that conversation, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
16.
22.
22, nice. So on your walk, y'all are staying in the courtyard, and still making your way more towards the eastern side, and you come to a range for all manner of ranged weapons, and you actually see Esley there, which this is a little odd because there is an area for target practice, like right next to the Dozens barracks, but she's here in her full niqab as per usual, and she has all manner of different thrown weapons. Like she's throwing spears, daggers, darts, like all sorts of different things. You actually see that she has some just regular arrows for a bow, and she is throwing those as well, and doing a pretty damn good job about it. But yes, Esley is here, and you did say y'all wanted to talk to her.
Yes. Does my 22 perception do anything to show about her state of mind?
I mean, her doing target practice is not unusual in the slightest. Before like, as Call well knows, like, she is always working to improve her skills. It's a little odd that, like, she's like off duty right now, and she's gone kind of as far away from the barracks as she can without leaving the keep, to just have some target practice. But at the same time, and also they're wearing a niqab. You cannot see her face. You do not know if you can't really pick up on their emotional state. They're doing a very good job training, like never far from a bullseye.
Yeah. So, Call's just gonna go ahead and make their way over.
I don't know why I keep using they, but she notices y'all on the way over, and doesn't fully stop, but kind of gestures that you are welcome.
Yeah. So, Call's going to go up and, say, this does not have to be a long conversation, but I wanted to see if there was anything that needed to be said or should be said about recent revelations from both parties.
She stands for a second and is kind of passing a dagger back and forth between her hands. Um, um, she is like not looking at the dagger at all. She's looking at the two of you, studying y'all, and very clearly like thinking before she speaks. Every once in a while, kind of taking a look around, not the is someone watching type thing, but like just slowly taking stock of surroundings, checking if anybody is watching. And then says, I revealed what I revealed to put us all at a measure of understanding. We both have something for protection should the other try something. She looks Call dead in the eye and says, I respect you enough that I wanted to give you that courtesy. That being said, at this point she does actually stop and make a full sweeping check around, and then she goes back to that full eye contact, which is not super common with her. She doesn't always lock eyes when talking. But she locks eyes with you and says, there are more things at play, and there are things more important to me. I will do nothing to hurt you, but she kind of makes a pointed glance at Henry, but I will do nothing to help you.
Call nods, like, very seriously, and, says, I appreciate the respect and faith you put in me. I'm sorry for putting you in a position where that wouldn't be necessary. I would not request your assistance, and I am becoming more and more aware of how intricate the web is. So I understand that there are many things at play.
She just nods to you and then, without looking, throws the dagger. And, well, she's showing off, so she's going to have to roll for it. Ooh, hits the target, but not as well as she has been.
It's because she's showing off. Let's see. And I think at that point, Call is also probably going to try and lighten the mood a little bit and be like, does it ever get exhausting having so many balls in the air?
She can't see her face. Give me a perception check real quick.
14.
No, meets it, beats it. for a second, you see through the illusion in front of her eyes, and you can just see the corner of her eyes kind of crinkle together, and that's what you get.
Fuck yeah, Call's taking that as another win.
She does
Call
not.
is getting some wins.
She does not verbally respond, and turns to face the target. Makes a disgusted sound, and then throws another another dagger and knocks the one that she missed with out of the target with it.
Love.
Henry lets out a little woo.
At that point, Call will take their leave.
Yeah.
Henry gives Edsley a very deep bow, and as they leave. As they're leaving, I think Henry says to Call, I mean, I know everyone in the dozen is a badass, but damn.
I love that.
Okay.
I think I'm good with that.
Does anybody else have role-playing things to? Oh, well, I guess. Is there anything else other than the plot talk and going to talk to the hearts?
I want to give them everybody their presents.
Let's do that. Let's do the presents right now.
Okay. So maybe it's a session where okay, so yeah, I mean, Call and Ren and Henry are just together. Should we just say?
Yeah. No.
Are we at brunch?
Sure.
Yay!
I mean, if Henry wants to talk about the coup, stop bringing it up in public spaces. No coup brunch. It can
No
be
coup
present brunch.
No, this isn't coup brunch. This is present brunch.
Okay,
Present
yay.
brunch.
Present brunch that can then travel to a secure place to become coup talks.
Guys, I have grim news. That's our group name, Coup Brunch.
Coup brunch. That should be the name of the campaign for sure. Coup brunch.
Sorry.
Maybe not the campaign. No, you're right. The group.
Not everybody.
Everyone we're interacting with.
Oh, Andy and Seymour, their job is to gather information pertaining to the campaign. Estley has history.
Arnold doesn't know a damn thing. He just
No,
gives hugs.
Arnold has no fucking clue. Finks is learning super quickly, but
Good
like
for Finn.
as I said, like before y'all left, Finks was pretty clueless.
That's fair. I'm also just imagining, I'm imagining, like, with my comment, for anyone listening, I made a comment about how come everyone in the dozen seems to know so much more than Call.
Right.
Like, what extra evening classes were they going to that Call wasn't invited to? And I need you to know I am imagining, like, Zerka at a blackboard while, like, Andy is sitting at an ill-fitting student desk furiously taking notes. Like, this is the picture, this is the mental image.
Zerka has one of those really long wooden pointers.
Yes!
Thwacking the blackboard.
Thwacking the blackboard with the stick. Yes!
And it's like a web of like all the players, and it's like, and they are with them, and then they are over here, but this person is
And Andy is way too tall to be fitting in that desk properly.
And Andy is definitely sitting in front of either Pym, Dirk, or Seymour. And so they're oh, lovely. Okay. So present brunch.
Okay, and Henry also wants to talk about the fox while they're at brunch.
Okay.
Um, okay, so I guess they're just sitting in a restaurant eating brunch.
Sure.
And Henry says, "Have y'all seen that fox that's around? Like the grinning fox?"
There's a fox.
Maybe once? Maybe twice? What do you mean?
I was thinking about it, and when we came up to the tower before the execution, or after the execution, before going to the hearts, um, there was this fox that was just sitting on the parapet, I think is where he was, and he just like grinned at me, and so I waved at him because I don't know him, but maybe he's friendly, and he waved back.
I was standing right next to you, and there was a waving fox, and that didn't warrant a mention.
Did you see Ren? Did you see Ren at that moment? You were entirely encapsulated with Ren and how amazing he looked. And also, it was the day of the execution. There was a lot going on. It was not time for me to whimsically bring up a random thing that I saw.
Okay, I mean, fair, but okay, I guess. I would still think a waving fox would be interesting.
Well, that's why I
But
wanted to
okay.
bring it up. But I also the reason I remembered to bring it up is I think I saw it outside the bookstore. Now, when we were there, I look at Ren like pointedly. I don't say Orin's name out loud, but like, when we were there, he ran by the window.
I don't know if I saw anything.
I don't
You
think
did
Ren
not.
did. I think only Henry did at that point. But Ren saw him in the library. Henry doesn't know this, but I just wanted to bring it up.
Do you think it's
Could it be a
a
person?
companion? Is it a person? Is it?
I don't know. He obviously had high enough intelligence to wave back. I don't know.
Wait, you said you saw him on the parapet when we were meeting Ren?
Hmm?
So he was at the mage tower?
Yeah.
I think I saw him at the tower library once.
So presumably that would mean that I don't know why I'm assuming it's a he, either is or belongs to a mage. Because I can't see, specifically a mage like within the mage corps, because I can't see someone unassociated with the mage corps having that kind of access to the mage tower without that warranting some kind of attention.
Technically, if you can get up on the wall, you can make the full circuit around the keep.
Oh. Well then, fuck what I just said.
Oh, you said around the keep?
Yeah, so the upper castle, it has a second wall that surrounds just that upper part, where
Gotcha.
the
Okay.
northern wall is also all of like kind of the high seat and the grand hall and all of Anders' rooms and the servants' quarters and the kitchens. The western wall is the core of light, like it's just a block that is the building that is the core of light. The eastern wall uh, belongs to the core of mages, but also the university extends out from it a long way. And then the southern wall is the core of blades. So it's a very thick wall that has rooms and such inside of it.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. We did see him in the proximity of the tower twice, though. Yeah, I
Yeah,
didn't
I feel
know.
like... Go ahead.
No, I just didn't know like who with or where to break it up. So
Well, it's worth keeping an eye out. If you're seeing him that close to the tower that often, um, Ren, maybe you specifically should be keeping an eye out. And I mean, we all should, but like if that seems to be where he is with any more frequency, then maybe you should keep an extra eye out for that.
I agree.
Yeah, it just, with everyone being as busy as they are and as into each other's business as they are, the idea of seeing a fox that many times in the city doesn't seem like something to sleep on.
Just just a wild fox. Okay.
In the middle of
Yeah.
the keep. That's fine. That's normal.
No, it's not. You're completely right. I really wasn't sure where to bring that up. This was in the middle of the investigation in the library too, so I wasn't sure what kind of attention this would get, positive or negative. Um, in any case, yeah, we need to be watching out for that.
Mm. I have two more things to talk about. Sorry, one is doesn't need to be role played, and the other one I want to talk. It's not going to be at brunch club, but it's something I need to ask Ren.
There is another
Okay.
reason y'all are having this brunch meeting.
I know. I'm sorry. I got distracted. Well, guys, I have presents. And Henry takes out two packages and gives them to Call, and takes out one package and gives it to Ren.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Can we open them now?
Yeah, you can open them now.
Fuck yeah.
So calls are Henry bought it at when we first met Juster when all those shops were there. But there's just been a lot going on, and Henry hasn't had a moment to actually give it to Call because busy. Um, but it's really nice yarn made from some material that's not from Terre de Viri, something from beyond. Um, a couple skeins of it. Um, and then the other thing is it's something that Henry made in the forge, and it's an industrial earring that's shaped like an arrow. The earring agenda.
Uh-huh. I know. Call is probably going to ruefully laugh when they open that one. Because Call is very aware that the earring agenda is being thrust upon them, even though they did buy one themselves. Oh, and Call's going to profusely thank Henry.
Oh, thank you. And then Henry does, clarify he made it and everything. Just, but yeah. And then so Ren's, he says, oh, I need to like read it off, but I need to take it out of my inventory and put it in. Ben, can you put it in?
Just take it out of your inventory, and after you, or I mean, you can read it from your inventory if you want, and then when you're done, we can have Jenny add it to their inventory. Or have Ren add it to their. but I would be perfectly fine with you reading how it works.
I don't see it in my inventory.
Did you put it in your inventory?
I thought you said that you put it in my
No,
inventory.
I said I made it, and I told you to put it in your inventory. That's why
I'm sorry.
Okay, so instead I will just put it in
I'm sorry.
Ren's. Um, so nope.
Here, I'll read it. Okay. So, I got this idea when we were in the forest together. Um, and it's just I've been trying to figure out a way to make it. And Oren, I asked Oren for help, and he, as we know, is a genius and just made them. Um, but they are heated stones that you can keep in your pocket to keep your hands warm. Um, you could also probably put them like in your shoes if you wrap them with cloth. If you're wearing like big enough boots, because some of them are like flat and stuff. And so then that, and like they are a slow release heat. It's not just like hot and then it dissipates. Like it'll stay warm for a long time, but it won't like overheat. Because as I said, Oren's a genius. So I'm hoping it just brings you some comfort as you're walking around.
There are absolutely not tears in Ren's eyes. He's just gonna give Henry a really tight hug.
Oh, Henry absolutely hugs back.
So yeah. And yeah, he's gonna thank him profusely. This was really, really, really kind, and Henry is just a bucket of joy. And
Paul's probably going to feel emotional at Ren's gifts.
So for the mechanics of this item, it is mostly a utilitarian item, but the way they work is you cast if you do something that would deal fire damage to these stones. Okay? There's some weird math, so give me a second. It gives off heat for an amount of time equal to the ones place in the damage. So if you do eight fire damage to the stones, they will give off heat for 8 hours.
oh,
However, if you do more than 10 damage, they get too hot. So if you were to somehow do, say, 23 fire damage to the stones, they would deal 2d6 fire damage every turn for 3 hours. Because the 20 damage is the 2d6 and the 3 is 3 hours.
nice.
If it's ever an exact multiple of 10, you drop 1d6 and it lasts for 10 hours. So if you do 10 fire damage to the stones, they stay heated for 10 hours. But they would do no damage. And if you do 20, it would be 1d6 for 10 hours.
What if I just leave him on a campfire or in a fireplace? Also, does Ren's room have a fireplace?
No. Your Ren's room does not have a fireplace. Do you not have firebolt? Oh, I thought you had firebolt.
I have fireball.
You do have fireball. Probably too much damage for keeping the stones warm.
I could get control flame.
So you could control flame. So the spell bonfire is what I would use. The spell bonfire does 2d6 damage, I believe. That's what I would use for if you put them in a fire. So you would roll 2d6 and then calculate the heat off of that.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you. That's extremely awesome.
You're welcome. You needed it. And yeah, you're welcome.
Ren doesn't say extremely awesome. He's more refined than I am. But yeah, Ren is he's very, very happy about it. He just says thank you.
They should. I put them in your inventory. They should still be. They should be there. You might have to refresh the page if you already had it up.
All good, all good.
Yeah, but an amount of d6 damage per turn for hours is a lot of damage. But obviously they were not exactly intended for doing damage, so
They're a wondrous item.
they are a wondrous item. I don't know. I don't really know how to make anything else.
I love it.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. On to plot progression.
On to plot progression.
Now that we have been playing for 3 hours.
We had stuff to do, okay? I think some of this was actually very plot relevant.
True.
So.
It's true.
Okay, so maybe we're in Ren's room.
Bronwyn,
are you okay? Oh, okay. We just need somewhere safe to talk.
Oh, okay.
Is Ren's room not safe to talk? Has Ren not been there?
Ren needs that spell. What spell is that? I know.
I don't know that it actually exists. I'm
It's not
making
feng shui. There's
kind of
one
my
like
own.
it.
So silence kind of does it in reverse, where everything in the circle is deafened, but I am kind of like flipping silence to where it just doesn't allow sound in or out, but you can still speak within. Maybe there is a spell that does that, but that's kind of the rules I'm going off of, is silence.
Okay.
I might just make the spell entirely, and then I'll have to put thought into what level spell it is, and then maybe you can actually learn it.
If you want, because Ren desperately wants it.
I think it'll probably be higher than a level 3 spell.
Yeah.
Well, it's either one of our rooms or we go out of the city, I think.
It would. Ren's room is fine. I guess he'd do like perception checks and everything like that just to.
Henry casts detect magic to see if there's anything.
Oh, Ren has detect magic too.
Yay.
Okay, so
Henry
you're gonna cast.
Ren.
You're gonna cast detect. You're gonna cast detect magic in Ren's room.
Yeah.
Okay. You have done this before.
Yeah.
Nothing lights up that hasn't lit up in the past.
Okay.
Ren is still gonna request that we keep our voices down, but yeah, we can talk here.
Technically, there is one thing that lights up that wasn't here last time, and it's those stones. So they are magical. So.
Okay.
Orin poured his little heart into those stones.
He did so good.
He did such a good job.
And it was such a sweet idea. And Ren loves them so much. So. Okay, I guess we're good to talk.
Okay, 3 things, y'all. Number 1, Orin asked me to get a sample of the death. And I said, I thought you wanted us to have it destroyed when we rescued you. And he said, oh no, I mean like the regular kind, not the stabilized kind. And then he clarified so that he could test the his cure on it. So I just wanted to bring it up, and I think I could probably get some from First Sister Ulana. She might be the first. She might have some or know where it is, or maybe Patchwood.
Hey guys.
Yeah.
Remember when the party was in the woods and Ren got a vial of Shadowfell goo? He still has a vial of Shadowfell goo. It's probably gone bad by now.
It's worth checking.
Do you want to check on your vial of Shadowfell goo?
Let's check on the vial of Shadowfell goo. It's still in his inventory.
So, you take the vial out, and it's no. Um, the I'm trying to decide something. Okay. So first of all, there is still this black ichor in the vial. Um, it's still bubbling and it is still silent. Although inside of a vial that is capped, I don't know how if you would hear it bubbling anyway. Although that is something else to put to note. It is bubbling and not releasing enough gas to have unstoppered the vial.
Hmm.
I opened up the description and the like custom equipment, and it just says gross. Okay.
Henry has detect poison and disease, and he detected it on the death before so that he would know what it was. Can Henry cast that now to see if
You
it's the
can.
death?
You
Okay,
absolutely can.
he does so.
It is not.
It's
Although
not the death.
it does, it gives you a ping of poison rather than disease. Which
Okay.
the death is a little bit of both, but leans more disease. This is more of a if ingested, you will not be happy.
Okay. Henry relays that information.
It might be worth giving Orin anyway. Like
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be surprised if he could find some kind of use for it.
And then I have a couple vials of the stabilized death, but he wanted some of the regular as well. Also, I didn't give it to him immediately because I don't know. I got a weird feeling, and maybe all of us should be together when we do that. I don't
Um, I'm happy to be there. I mean, I trust Orin at this point. At this point, the poor kid knows too much. It's either we trust him or we don't. Um, and I trust him. So, um, but yeah, I'm happy to be there.
know. Okay. What do you think, Ren?
I would also like to be there.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Great. And then yeah, so I'll try to get some from First Sister Joanna. Um, second thing, um, Ren, I know you kind of got interrupted, but do you know what happened to Vist's body?
Don't.
Considering what he said about his own body, I think we should just make sure someone hasn't eaten it. What do you think?
High Power Kenda has given no indication that anything is amiss with it. Is that correct, Ben?
She she has not given any like she
They
what
I
they
haven't said anything?
sorry, I said she like 3 times there. I'm so sorry.
You're fine.
They have not they've this is early on. I'm just gotta rearrange things in my head. So like you probably haven't met with them often, but also like your biggest conversation happened the day after. They have not reported anything wrong. However, they are in charge of every sorcerer in the Corps of Mages, and there's no telling how much work they actually have to do each day. And a dead body going missing, especially if they had already gotten what they needed from it, you have no idea if they would even know that it had gone missing. Um, but judging by the fact that they haven't brought anything up about it, you assume that whatever they intended to do with it, they were able to do with it.
Ren is going to relay that. And he's also going to, once things are a little bit more stable with Kenda, he probably wants to ask about it. But we'll see. So yeah. Don't know.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I just thought I would bring it up. Okay. Next thing. Henry looks around, quite obviously, lowers his voice, steps real close, and says, "So, what, now that you've had some time to think about it, what do you two think about what I mentioned of getting more suitable leadership for the county?"
Think if we are to take a move about this, we need to be taking a lot more time to figure out what we're doing. I am not going to do anything rash, especially when we are having to protect Orin. If we do anything impulsive, we put Orin at risk.
Mm-hmm.
So I do not think now is the time to do anything.
Okay. I think that's fair. I wasn't thinking that it would be quick, but I think if something were to happen, it would take time to plan. And so, yeah. Henry looks at Call.
Paul is going to say, there is too much we don't know. We don't know who all the players are. We don't know how many allies or enemies exist. We don't know who knows about each other. I think there are too many variables, and I don't like that.
Ren is nodding along. He agrees completely.
Something that I agree. Um, just to clarify with you guys, I said it in a moment of passion, but the ideal comes from a place of principle within myself. So it's not something that I'm going to fly off the handle and get antsy about, but it is something that I know in my heart that needs to happen. And I want to do it, but it's not, I'm not going to do anything rash now that I have calmed down from that day, just to be clear.
I do
Um,
appreciate that.
but
I know your
what I would,
intentions are good.
thank you. Somebody who might know some of the answers to the questions that you mentioned, Call, are the hearts. What would you two think about going to them and saying that, or me going to them, or us going to them and saying that we want a more active role in planning rather than just being passively um, not stopping them, but helping them plan?
This time, I do not want a more active role. I also don't want to make an enemy of the hearts, and have been considering that I might have to speak with them just to clear the air on certain things if they are receptive to talking with me at all. But I don't want to. I'm not ready to be in on their schemes.
That's fair.
Chels knows. Chels has opinions about Zerka, and as such, those opinions extend to me as someone who serves Zerka directly. And there is a lot politically that goes into that, and any decision I would make in that in that conversation would be a reflection of Zerka, and so I don't think that that is a call that I can make in isolation because it affects far more than just me.
call is very well spoken. I was typing as you were talking, Asher reiterating to Bronwyn that I understand. They have opinions about call because call serves Zerka, and it just kind of extends. And then what was the second thing you said? I guess in plainer English.
Basically, that if Call says, I want a more active role, Chels is either going to go, you're lying to me because of Zerka, or if you're in on this, this means Zerka might be too. And so any decision that Call makes is going to be, they're going to like look at Call through the lens of like, this is Zerka's direct report. And so Call does not want to make a decision that reflects on Zerka one way or another without consulting with Zerka. So basically Call's saying, I can't make a choice unless you want me to go talk to my boss about it.
Also, come to think of it, this could be very, very dangerous. You, Call, working with the Hearts at all, could be held against Zerka. They could use you against her as maybe even indirect kind of evidence that she has been cooperating in a coup. So that would not only like just be making decisions for her, but it could come back and harm her. So I think extreme caution would be the correct decision. I don't want to talk to the Hearts every week. I don't want to be having these talks every week. If we are going to talk about ideas that put all of us in danger so much, we could be executed for talking about this. Yes. If somebody hears us, if the wrong people hear us talking about this, we could be executed. I don't want to talk about this, even in private, unless it's very, very serious and unless something actively happening comes up.
It's a very, very dangerous game.
All right. Thank you for your honesty.
Thank you for hearing us.
For now, I think we should try and keep Oren safe. We should try and help him with his research and keep him from going just totally traumatized by being kept indoors for too long at a time. But we are the only ones protecting him right now. And just the fact that he's relying on us, anything that we do, if we get into trouble or something like for anything, and if you're investigated, Henry, that would put Oren in danger, and we don't know what would happen to him. So I think while we're juggling as much as we can, we should prioritize him. We just got him out of captivity. And now he's under house arrest. But we need to make things better for him as soon as possible.
Yeah. I think we should try to give him as much time with the book as possible so that he can find a cure and he can get out.
I am feeling somewhat better about the situation at the Mage Tower. I'm going to be very, very cautiously optimistic about that, but I feel like if we help Ord with his goals, and if we could get to a more stable situation with him, he may be able to safely join the Mage Corps like he wants. Again, approaching that with extreme caution, but that could be a possibility if and when he makes that decision.
That's great. Well, should we take the book over now and we can spend some time on letting Oren read the book and stuff now? Or do you guys have something to do?
Sure. Sure. No, that works for me.
That would be good.
All right, let's go.
Let's do the thing.
Okay. Are y'all going to Henry? Are you going to talk to people to try and get samples?
Yeah, so I think maybe if Ren and Call want to stay in Henry's room with Oren, and then Henry's just gonna go immediately to like druids that he knows that we're trying to root it out and stuff.
Okay. Well, first of all, Patch is in the room when y'all get there. If you would
Okay.
like
Also,
to.
how much does Patch know about all this?
That is a great question.
I think y'all have been pretty good about not talking about stuff when Patch is around, but Patch has also not been around a whole lot.
Mm-hmm.
No one has specifically asked him what he's been doing, but
Like, also, let's be real. Fucking shout out to Patch for not complaining when Henry brings home an extra roommate who never seems to fucking leave.
Patch is a great roommate. Patch is a great guy. Great friend.
Patch is pretty
And
cool.
also, you're right. No one's been asking Patch what Patch has been up to.
Henry has been talking to Patch regularly. We haven't role-played it, but I've said. And then Henry goes and talks to Patch. I've said that a few times.
Yeah, that's true. You have talked to him.
So I don't know, but Henry knows some stuff that's going on.
Well, and if Henry doesn't know stuff that's going on at this point, it's entirely possible that Patch is just not saying it.
Yeah.
Okay. So, who are you going to find, Henry?
Okay, well, if Patch is there, I'm gonna talk to him, small talk a little bit, and then ask him. No, Henry's not gonna ask Patch about it because it just feels disrespectful.
Okay.
He's gonna go talk to some druids and maybe first Sister Ulana about it because they were the ones who
Okay.
were rooting it out in session 1.
Okay. I'm going to send you to first Sister Lana because I don't have any druids made right now.
Okay.
So, yeah. You find her. She says, "Hello, Henry. It's always nice to see you."
It's good to see you as well. How have you been?
Good. Things have. Ooh, I suppose it's been a while since we've spoken. We've not found anything as far as cures or reasoning behind the people that that died from the death. She does not call it the death from the disease from Shadowfell is what she calls it. Um, uh, we still don't have an explanation for that. Uh, and then give me an insight check real quick.
That's a 17.
She. She says, um, even though the one responsible has been brought to justice, uh, with a 17, you don't. There's no like joy there, with which no, there's no joy in her saying that whoever did it has been brought to justice. It's just she just states it like a fact. Uh, in response,
Fist.
Vist was blamed for those killings. Um, that 17 insight, you get she's not happy. She's not like jumping up and down that the person was brought to justice, but she does state it as if it were fact. Um, some loud popcorn you got there. Uh, but yeah, she says, I believe we've been able to purge most of it from within the walls. We haven't had a report in a few days of uh, of any on any plant life inside.
Um, that's good. Have you kept any of it for study to try to find a cure or anything like that?
She looks horrified and says, "No. Any of it that is found is destroyed with fire immediately."
Okay. I just wasn't sure if any was brought to like the university or anything to try to find a cure, but I totally understand that killing it with fire immediately, like that. I understand.
Yeah, she still has this kind of horrified look and says, "No, it spreads too quickly, too easily. Transporting it somewhere to study it is would be so dangerous."
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Um, I think Henry changes the subject and starts talking about like their mutual interests.
It takes a little bit for her to stop. Like she was like is unnerved at the prospect of transporting any amount of the death. But after a while, she's talking to Henry, so she finally does get a little brighter. Although for Sister Alano, getting a little brighter means that there is not a current frown on her face.
Okay. Um, well, cool. Whenever we, wrap up our conversation, I think Henry um, bids her goodbye. And then I think goes back to the room and kind of kind of shakes his head to indicate like no. Um, yeah. I guess Henry asks Patch about it too.
Okay. How do you ask him?
I don't know. Let's talk to Orin first.
Okay.
I don't know. I think when Henry gets back to the room, he kind of pulls Orin aside and talks to him quietly and says that he asked for Sister Ulanum about it, and she said that it would be so dangerous to try to transport it, and ask Orin if he knows of a way to make it safer to transport it, and that kind of thing.
He gets this look of, oh my god, I like he freaks out for a second. He's like, of course it is dangerous to of course he like puts his head in his hands and he's like, I uh, I just got so used to the cultists in the null bringing me crates of branches covered in it. I was so used to just having a ready supply. I didn't even think, of course, that would be dangerous. He's like kicking himself and looks kind of horrified that he even suggested it.
Oh.
He says, I would like to have a sample to test, but that is obviously not spreading it across the world is more important.
Okay. Okay. Well, I guess just continue to work, and then maybe we can give him the 2 vials that we have, the stabilized version and the Shadowfell goo.
Okay.
And then say if you just want to work on it, and then maybe eventually we'll find some in a way that's safe.
He nods and says, I know that y'all are careful, but still, just please do be careful.
We will.
And he takes the vials. No, obviously recognizes the vial that he made himself, and then starts looking at the other one that is just the goo, and he looks like really intrigued by it, and he's like, I'm gonna run some tests on this. And you see he pulls out some leather gloves that are heavily stained, um, that have some like scratches and such on them, uh, and he is very careful when handling this vial. Um, but uh, he runs some tests on it, and in some, if y'all are okay with me fast forwarding time a little bit, in some later days, you notice that uh, he like only messes with that vial to run small tests, and over the days you see the amount in the vial decreases slightly as he uses some to test certain things. Um, but after a while, he just kind of leaves it to the side. And when you ask him about it, he says that he doesn't think it will give him anything towards the cure that he is trying to find. So while he would love to continue studying it, he's going to focus his efforts elsewhere. Um, all right. Is there anything else y'all specifically wanted to do, um, referencing Orin and the death and such?
If he's not using that vial anymore, should we just destroy it?
He does want to study it more, but he's going to focus on the cure to, you know, humanoid transmittable death first. I mean, if y'all want to take it and destroy it, that's your prerogative. But
I'm tempted, but I'll leave that to the group.
can I get 3 perception checks from Henry real quick? You're muted.
Too many items, not enough desk.
Mm.
It's a nat 20, a 2, and a 19.
Okay. First, I'm going to give you the sad part.
Ah!
A little into a little bit into the downtime, you wake up hearing Oren mutter. He not really muttering. He is out loud, very distressed, saying a scarily familiar phrase of "He will come if we kill well. He will come if we eat well." Um, uh, and then so he repeats that a couple times, and then just starts saying no, 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 and starts saying it louder and louder and louder and louder, until he is almost yelling it. He is still asleep at this point.
Henry goes and wakes him up.
He startles awake and looks in a panic. He goes into a defensive position as if he expects you to hurt him.
I immediately start talking, and I'm like, "Hey, it's me. It's Henry. You're safe. You're safe. You're safe with Henry."
You notice that he looks at his wrists and ankles and seems surprised that he is not bound. And also you notice that he has bitten his tongue and it is bleeding.
Henry heals it immediately.
He does not go back to sleep that night. And do you stay up with him or
Yeah.
wait for him to calm?
I stay up with him.
Okay.
Make us both tea.
After a while, which Patch somehow sleeps through all of this. He just doesn't wake up. After a little while, he calms down and just says, I need to do something with my hands. And he goes to start working on the cure. And you see that he has a whole lot of very small vials that have little bits of the stabilized death that he has split apart, so that he can use different amounts in different tests. And he reaches with his left hand to pick one up, and you kind of realize that, like, which his left hand is the one that is missing its pinky.
If he said I need something to do with my hands, Henry would immediately say, "Can I teach you how to knit?" That, like, immediately that's what he would have said. Team prevent bad things from happening. Should I make a persuasion roll?
No, he just rolled a nat 1. He is going to tell you that he doesn't want to.
Okay.
And he goes to start working, and I assume you're going to keep watching him?
Yes.
Okay.
He's being careful. Henry goes over with him and sits with him. Like, pulls a stool up.
Okay.
And is sitting by his.
So he's being careful. And he seems focused on what he's doing. But he reaches for a vial with the hand that is missing a finger, and just the grip is wrong, and it tilts a little. He reaches to grab it with his other hand, and a small amount spills on his hand. He curses for probably the first time you've ever heard him curse. Very quickly rights the vial, carefully puts it down, gets... Let's see. So he has a small pile of sand, and he puts sand on it, and then uses some soap to try and wash it off, and then just sits down and watches his hand as black creeps into the veins and spreads across his hand.
Can Henry cure this?
You could, but so he's watching it, and are you gonna move to do that?
Yeah, I think Henry says, "Here, let me heal you," and starts reaching out.
So he says, "No, stop. Okay. This isn't. First of all, this isn't deadly." He looks around and sees a fair bit of plant life that is in this room. He says, "Okay, I have to be careful, and I have to be careful, and I will be careful. But I think I can use this." And
I don't like this.
He says, "I understand." And he immediately starts grabbing some cloth, and he starts wrapping all of his exposed skin. And he says, "Let me try this. If it doesn't work, you cure me. Okay?"
Okay. I'm staying with you until I can cure you, or
Okay.
until you can cure it.
This is the dead middle of the night. For the next 3 hours he works, and then he kind of sits and he taps the table a little bit. There's a vial boiling in front of him. The liquid is murky and silverish. And he uses his little tools and takes a small drop and drips it. He unwraps a small portion of his hand, drips it onto his hand, and you see the black recede from that area. It doesn't spread though. It just, the one area goes away, and it doesn't creep back. It just recedes from the one area. And he gets really fucking excited for a second, watches for a long time, and then says, "Okay, I think this will work. Go ahead and cure me."
Henry does.
And then he extraordinarily carefully collects all of the vials of the death, and he puts them like away from the stuff he's doing. Works a little while longer, and he says, "I think this will work. I think we should sleep before we test it."
I agree. And Henry gives him some. Henry said, "Chamomile tea." Or do you
He
just want to go to sleep
happily
now?
takes it.
Okay, good.
And we'll leave off there because it's late. And there are a couple more things to finish in this little downtime period, but I think it will be pretty short. But we will leave off there. And
We're not going to talk about Henry going to the Hearts. He's not going to say anything about the coup, but he wants to start going there and making friends.
we can do that next session. But there are still things that have to be done for the downtime period.
That would be in the downtime period, though, right?
Exactly.
We got a lot done today.
I'm saying there is more that is happening in the downtime period. We aren't leaving that time period right now. But when we come back, we'll have a few more things to do that is still in that kind of fluctuating time period of things aren't all happening exactly in order. So we will still be able to do that.
Sounds good.
But I like a good cliffhanger, so yeah.
That's a good one. That's actually a really, really good note. So that's exciting.
Yeah, that's really great. I'm happy.
Okay.
That was a solid note.
Yeah, we've been waiting for progress with Orin for a while, so I'm very, very happy to see this. On that note, I am sleepy. I do have a bit of a headache. But we made awesome progress. I'm really, really excited about this.
That was a chunky session. That was almost
was
5
really
hours of session.
Seriously?
Yeah, we started at 7.
Shit, you're right. Okay.
I didn't even think about
Sorry,
it. Like
no,
you're right.
4. 4. I can't do math. It's almost 11. We started at 7.
Okay, so 3.5. That's
Yeah.
about our normal session length then.
Yeah. Okay.
Right? No.
Yeah, like 4 would be a very long session. 3.5
Yeah.
is about usual.
It's slightly on the long end because
Yeah.
normally we're pulling just shy of 3 because I have work and things.
Can't believe that you have responsible adult things to do.
And you live in a time zone ahead of us.
That's the real kicker.
When you move to Texas and if you stay working there, Are you gonna wake up super early to be on their time zone clock?
It's only an hour difference. It'd be starting at 8 versus starting at 9.
Yeah. Okay.
So, yeah, that would be my plan. That would be the plan, but there's a lot of stuff going into that conversation. I'm very tired.
Samesies.
So, I'm going to skip the post-session debrief for tonight and talk to y'all later.
It's
Okay,
been
I'm about done.
fun.
All right. Bye, guys.
It's fun.
Bye.
Bye.
I love you. And that was on the stream, folks.